Hello students, good morning. How are you all? I hope all of you are fine. In the previous class, in the first video, we have studied about the chemistry chapter 1 of class 7 and 8, that is matter. And in that lesson we have discussed what is matter, then characteristics of matter, composition of matter, then states of matter. In the definition of matter, we have seen that anything that has mass and occupies space and can be perceived by our senses is called matter. So here I show you a simple experiment to prove that matter occupies space. You can just see, here is a simple activity. Aim to show that matter occupies space. What are the materials required? To prove such experiment, the materials required is a glass tumbler, water, stone, a piece of thread, a glass bowl. And what is the procedure? Take a glass tumbler and place it in a bowl. Pour water gently into the tumbler so that it is completely filled. Now take a stone. Take a small stone, tie it with a piece of thread and lower this stone gently into the tumbler. What do you observe? Now remove the stone from the glass tumbler. See the level of the water in the tumbler. Now pour the water collected in the bowl into the tumbler. What do you observe? Observation. When the stone is lowered into the glass tumbler filled completely with water, some water overflows from the glass tumbler and collects in the bowl. When the stone is removed from the glass tumbler and water collected in the bowl is poured back into the tumbler, the water fills the glass tumbler up to the brim again. So what conclusion we come? The stone occupies space and hence pushes the water out of the tumbler. Water is a matter too and also occupies space. This is observed when it fills the tumbler up to its brim. Thus, from this activity we conclude that matters occupy space. I hope you might have understood this experiment. What is this is a simple experiment that take a glass and a bowl, put the glass into the bowl, fill the glass with water, then take a small piece of stone, tie with a thread and put this stone into the glass filled with water. As soon as we will put this stone into the glass filled with water, the level of water will rise up and it will fall down. So it shows that when stone is being poured into placed into the water, it occupies some space which is pushing the water upward. As a result, some water falls down. And when you remove this stone, the level of water will go down because some amount of water has fallen down. Now what do? Again, when you remove this stone pieces from the glass and pour the water back into this glass, again the level of water come to the brim. It means water, which is a liquid, also occupies space. Thus, this is a simple experiment to prove that matter occupies space. Now we'll see the next experiment in which it has been proved that matter has mass. You can see here a simple experiment which is given in your book to show that matter has mass. What are the materials required? A spring balance, a cotton thread, a small empty can, water, pebbles or sand. Procedure. What is the procedure? Suspend a spring balance from a hook, the reading of the pointer should read 0. Take an empty can and tie a piece of strong cotton thread to it to make the suspension loop. Now suspend the can from the hook of the spring balance. Note the reading of the pointer. Now pour some water into the can. What do you observe? Repeat the same experiment taking sand or pebbles in the can. What do you observe? Note the reading of the pointer each time. So you will observe that each time when you are pouring the water or putting the pebbles or sand, the level of the pointer comes down. It means this water or the stone piece of pebbles or the sand has some mass, and because of this mass it is the level of the pointer is coming down. So we can say that matter has mass. Okay. So how you will come to know? When you are taking the point, initially time the point reading of the pointer is at the up level, it will have some reading. After pouring the water or stone pieces or the pebble, the reading of the pointer is increasing. It is coming to some other points. So the difference between the initial point and final point of the pointer decides that matter has the mass. So this is the simple two experiments to prove that any matter has mass and occupy space. So revise this experiment and try. You can do at your home also. It's a simple experiment. Now let us see the arrangement of molecules in solid, liquid and gas. We have seen there is 3 states of matter, and each matter is made up of tiny particles of either atoms or molecules or ions. Basically, these particles are present in the form of molecules. So how are these molecules arranged in any matter? Okay, the arrangement of molecules in these 3 states of matter decides the particular matter will be solid, liquid or gas. Matter is solid or liquid or gas. This all depends on the arrangement of molecules in these 3 states of matter. The arrangement of these molecules in any matter depends on the 2 factors, that is intermolecular space and intermolecular force. These 2 factors are inversely related to each other. That is, if intermolecular space increases, then intermolecular force decreases and vice versa. The arrangement of these particles in these 3 states of matter decides the matter will be solid, liquid or gas. And this arrangement of particle depends on the 2 factors. What is that? Intermolecular space and intermolecular force. We have discussed it in the previous class. What is intermolecular space? The gap, the empty space between the molecules in any states of matter is called intermolecular space. And intermolecular force is a force of attraction that holds the molecules together in any states of matter. Okay? Now let us see the arrangement and how does this intermolecular space and intermolecular force has effect in these 3 states of matter. If you see in this next diagram, is a picture, small short picture of a solid. If you see a diagram, in these molecules are very closely packed. They are very close to each other. There is no gap in the molecules of a solid. Okay? So see the solid, in the solid, what is the factor here? The intermolecular force is the strongest in solid. So the intermolecular space between the molecules in solid is practically absent and the molecules are closely packed together. So the molecules in solid hardly move about, they only vibrate slightly. So we say molecules are matter is a solid. Why it is so solid? Because in that all the molecules in the solid are very closely packed. They have very high intermolecular force of attraction. So the gap between the molecule is almost negligible. And because of this tightly packed molecules, these matches are solid. And molecules cannot move from one place to another because there is no empty space. They just vibrate on their mean position. Then in liquid, you see, here is the diagram of the liquid. You can see the molecules of this liquid are little bit far from each other. They are not so tightly packed. So you see, in the liquid, the intermolecular force of attraction in liquid is not so strong as in solid. As in the previous topic, I have told you that intermolecular force and intermolecular space are just indirectly proportional to each other. When one increases, the other will decrease. So as you see in the liquid, the intermolecular space is increasing. It is having more space. Molecules, the gap between the molecules in the liquid is more as comparing to the solid. So intermolecular space is more, thus its intermolecular force decreases as comparing to the solid. The intermolecular force of attraction in liquid is not so strong as in solid. So the intermolecular space between the molecules in liquid is more than that in solids, and the molecules are less closely packed. But the intermolecular space in liquid is less than that in the gases. The molecules in the liquid can move from one position to another within the liquid because they have more intermolecular space as comparing to the solid. So molecules in the liquid can move from one position to another. That is why liquid have the property of being able to flow. As they have a gap, the molecules in the liquid have the gap. So these molecules can move from one position to another. They can slide over one another. That is why they have an ability to flow. Solid cannot flow because in solid molecules are tightly packed. They have a very high intermolecular force of attraction. But in the liquid, these molecules are little bit far from each other as comparing to the arrangement of molecules in the solid. And since this intermolecular space is more in the liquid, the molecules can move from one place to another. And as they can move, they have the property to flow. When you see in the gas, if you see the diagram of the gas, in the gas these molecules are very far from each other. As comparing to solid and liquid, the molecules in the gases, their arrangement is quite far from each other. So the gases have high intermolecular space, and as the space will increase, intermolecular force will decrease. So gases have least intermolecular force of attraction as comparing to solid and liquid, but gases have the highest intermolecular space. See, the intermolecular force of attraction is the weakest or very weak in the gas. So the intermolecular space between the molecules in gases is the largest in comparison to liquid and solid. So the molecules in the gases are very far apart and completely free to move about in the whole space available to them. That means gases can move freely, randomly in any direction because they have large intermolecular space and they have least intermolecular force of attraction. Okay? So these are some arrangement, how the particles are being arranged in the solid liquid gases and how they have on this arrangement, these intermolecular force and intermolecular spaces, how affecting we have discussed in this part. Read it, revise it. Okay, now you see the next part. Difference in the three states of matter on the basis of their characteristics. Difference in the three states of matter on the basis of their characteristics. Here I have made a table in which I have made the list of characteristics one side, and the properties of these solid liquid gases has been written separately. So let us see the first characteristics. Mass. I think all of you know what is mass. Mass is the amount of matter contained in a body or quantity of a matter. And we have studied all the matters have mass. So solid has mass, liquid has mass, gas has mass. Space. All the states of matter occupy space. So solid also occupies space, liquid occupies space, gas occupies space. Shape. Solid has definite shape because in solid the particles, the molecules are tightly packed, they are very close to each other, so they have definite shape. In liquid, these molecules are not tightly packed. Their intermolecular space is more, so particles can move here and there. So liquid do not have definite shape. And gases also, in the gases molecules are very far from each other, so they do not have definite shape. So solid has definite shape, but liquid and gases do not have definite shape. Then volume. As in the solid, the molecules are tightly packed, they are very close to each other, so the space occupied by them is also fixed. Thus, solid has definite volume. Whereas in liquid also have definite volume, because suppose if you take an example, take a 1 liter of water in a bottle and you pour that 1 liter of water into a can, whose volume is 1 liter. So the volume of water will remain same whether it is in the bottle or it is in the can. The volume, the quantity of the volume, the water will remain same. Only its shape will change. Its shape will change. When the water will be in the bottle, it will be in the shape of bottle. But when water will be poured into the can, it will take the shape of the can. That is why I have told you that liquid do not have definite shape, but they have definite volume. But in the case of gases, in gases the molecules are very far from each other. Intermolecular force of attraction is very least, so they neither have definite shape nor they have definite volume. When these gases are poured in a container, they acquire the whole space available to them. That's why the gases do not have definite volume. Then compressibility. How you can compress? How? Compressibility. In solid, the molecules are tightly packed, very, very close to each other. They do not have empty space. That's so. Solid cannot be compressed. But if you come to the liquid, as they have more intermolecular space than solid, means they have empty space between their molecules. Thus, the liquids can be slightly compressed. You can do an experiment at your home. Take solid materials like duster, chalk, bench, anything. If you press it, the hard materials, it will not be compressed. But if you take water in a syringe and just try to push it, close the mouth of the syringe from your thumb and press the piston from the back side, you will see slightly the liquid will be pushed. It means why? Because they have empty space. So it can be pushed, it can be compressed slightly. But in the case of gases, since they have large intermolecular space, molecules are very far from each other, they have large number of empty space, so gases are highly compressible, they can be highly compressed. Same thing experiment you can do with the syringe. Take a syringe, remove the needle and close the mouth of the syringe with a thumb and then press the piston from back. You will see that since in the syringe there is nothing but air is present, air is a gas and gas is a matter. If you will compress, you will see the piston will be compressed more as comparing to the syringe containing the liquid one. It means as the gas in the syringe having the gas is compressed high, because why? Because it has large number of intermolecular space. So gases are highly compressible as comparing to liquid. Solid cannot be compressed, liquid slightly compressed, and gases is highly compressed. Now density. You know, density is the mass per volume. More the matter, more the density. More the mass, more the density. In solid, number of particles are more per unit area. so their mass is more and thus their density is high. But in liquid, it has less density, and gases, they have least density, because per unit volume or per unit volume in gases, molecules are number of molecules are very less. We have studied mass as the quantity of a matter, means per unit how much molecules will be present, that will decide the mass of any matter. In solid, per unit area, per unit volume, number of mass particles is more, so it has more mass, and so its density is more. As comparing, if you see in the liquid, per unit volume, the number of particles will be less. As in case of gases, per unit volume, number of particles will be very, very less. So, solid has high density, liquid have less density, and the gases have least density. Free surface. Free surface means the surface that you can touch. So, solid can be touched from any sides. If you keep on the take a stone piece and keep on the table on your hand, you can touch it from any sides. So we say that a solid has any number of free surfaces, but liquid you can touch from only upper side, from where it is open. The liquid has only one free surface, but gases cannot be. It has no free surfaces. Then diffusion. Diffusion means when one matter mixes with another matter. If you keep two different solids together, they will not mix among each other by itself. Thus we can say solid cannot diffuse. Solid cannot diffuse among each other itself. Now in the liquid can diffuse, but only those liquids which is miscible in each other. Miscible liquids mean the liquid that can mix among one another, each other. They are called miscible liquids, and they can easily diffuse among each other. Immiscible liquids do not diffuse. Okay. Now gases, two or more different gases, they can easily diffuse among each other. They can easily mix among each other. If you keep them together, two or more different gases, they can easily mix among each other. Thus, we can say gases are easily diffusible. Okay? These are some characteristics of the different states of matter and the difference in their characteristics. Okay? So, read all these things, prepare up till here. Other points, kinetic molecular theory and law of conservation of mass, we'll study in the next video. Till then, revise this much. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.